development.
Oh, boy.
So bad. Just boo me now. Brock Purdy's contract isn't going to be irrelevant anymore after being paid less than $1 million a year for the first 3 years of his rookie deal. The last pick in the 2022 draft, eligible for an extension, and a raise befitting a Pro Bowler. Niners GM John Lynch weighing in today on where they stand with those talks.
We have started negotiations. We're talking. I won't go into negotiations like always is our stance. Want Brock to be our quarterback as long as we're here and beyond, and we'll leave it at that. I think the final thing, there's no guarantees that we get something done, but my experience has been when both sides are motivated, there's ample opportunity to do so, and we've been able to do that.
Here we go. NFL insider Dan Graziano is on the scene at the NFL Combine there in Indy and has much more here. Tell me the latest that you're hearing on not just Purdy, but a few of the Niners' offensive stars, starting with Purdy's contract talks.
Yeah, this Purdy deal is likely to be pretty big. I mean, you think about a guy that's taken the team to 2 conference championship games and 1 Super Bowl in his first 3 years as a starter. He was 7th in QBR this year, 1st last year. Compared to a guy like Trevor Lawrence, who has not done those things and makes $55 million a year, you start to get a sense of where Brock Purdy's going to want this deal to come in. So it's going to be a tough and complicated negotiation for the 49ers, but they know that, and the fact that they've already started on it tells you that that they know it's going to take something to get it done. Wide receiver Deebo Samuel has expressed a desire to be traded. John Lynch said today they would honor that desire. Problem the 49ers have here is the cap hit on Deebo Samuel goes way up if they trade him, much more so than if they cut him. So it's entirely possible that they do end up having to release him onto the open market, where I think he would have a lot of teams interested. But I guess they could find a trade, but it's just going to be a lot more cap prohibitive for them if that's the route they want to go.
Not a great season for Deebo last year, averaged fewer than 45 receiving yards a game. That was the worst during his 6 seasons with San Francisco. But you said it, Dan, there's a whole bunch of teams that would line up for all of that and more. Lining up to talk to you next, Kevin Nagan.
All right, now here we go. More combine intrigue with this developing story. ESPN has confirmed that the Packers are willing to listen to offers on Jaire Alexander. The All-Pro cornerback has no guaranteed money left on his deal. He's played in only 14 games over the last 2 seasons due to injuries, and Graz's back here with us. So, Dan, what's the likelihood that Green Bay finds a team willing to trade for Alexander?
I'd be a little surprised, Kevin. I mean, you mentioned no guaranteed money, but he has 2 years left on his deal, making about $16.5 million this year and $18.5 million next year. So I'm not sure who's going to trade for that, given what you also said about how many games he's missed the last couple of years. Look, he's 28 years old. He's been a very good player when he's been healthy. If the Packers are moving on, it's because they don't feel like he can stay consistently healthy, and they'll need someone who can. But if he were to be released and hit the market, I do think there would be teams interested. Kevin, I'm not saying this is what's going on, but very often this time of year, you see these things come out about trade requests, and it's for players that the team knows it's going to have to cut, so they kind of sort of let it be known that, hey, if you want to throw us a late-round pick, maybe. So I think that's my sense of what's going on there with Jaire Alexander and the Packers.
Keep in mind, when he's healthy, Alexander 7 interceptions over the past 3 seasons when he's on the field. Graz with the very latest from Indy.
Kevin, more questions swirling around the future of Matthew Stafford. A ton of buzz at the Combine. Rams have given him permission to talk to other teams about his market value, while the quarterback and the team also discuss an extension. He's 37, but came within a hair of the NFC title game just a season ago. Adam Schefter talked about the situation on Pat McAfee today.
Giants interested, huh?
Well, there's a lot of teams interested.
Yeah, but I've heard it feels like the Giants are the ones, right, that are like super interested.
I think they're all interested.
Everybody's super interested.
I think everybody's super interested.
Hell yeah. In Matthew Stafford. Any teams that we have not brought up yet?
No, you've run the gamut.
Raiders, Giants, Steelers.
And others have checked in. But I view that as kind of the playing field, so to speak.
Okay, so from what I'm gathering, a lot of people are interested. I think we cleared that one up. 2-time Super Bowl champ Booger McFarland joins us now. You tell me, Boog, what destination do you think is the right fit for Matthew Stafford?
Well, I think all the ones that you heard mentioned. If it were me, though, I would want to go to the New York Giants, if not stay in L.A. If you look at the Giants, I think The offensive line is going to be really good. If Andrew Thomas comes back and he's healthy, you can put him at left tackle. You got Malik Neighbors. You got a high pick in the draft. You can add another weapon. And on top of that, that defensive line is really good on the other side. So I think people look at the Giants and they think they're far away. The Giants are a football team that might be a quarterback away from going to the postseason and making some noise. But in the end, if you're Matthew Stafford, why would you want to leave Los Angeles? I get it. The taxes are high. But at some point, when you're making $45 to $50 million a year, who cares about the state taxes? So my first priority, if I were him, would be to stay in L.A. If not L.A., let's go to the Big Apple in New York, because I think that would be a great fit for him.
Yeah, and we all know how cheap taxes are here in New York. A lot cheaper, for sure. They also have, when you're that rich, Boog, you also have tax accountants that can work all kinds of loopholes around so that you don't have to pay taxes. I'm not advocating for that. I'm just saying
exactly.
It exists.
And guess what? Only you would know that because you make so much money.
Well, I learned from the best. Booger McFarland, thank you.
How about this, Elle? The NFL Players Association releasing their team report cards for 2025, covering a range of categories. And look at the grades. Among the notables, ownership, 3 franchises receiving an A+. Then there's the Jets, who got an F.
Oh, man.
3 head coaches got a C, including 2-time Coach of the Year winner Kevin Stefanski. Eberflus and Peterson no longer with their teams. And when it comes to family, the Vikings lead the way, while apparently no one treats family worse than the Bengals, with an F-.
Can you even have an F-?
That is the bottom of the bottom,
Yeah, that's
right?
worse, and then that's digging a hole under the bottom.
Yeah,
That's not great.
Meanwhile, the Patriots rank second to last in the poll here. One area that players say doesn't fly, travel. Players give the Pats an F because their plane has, get this, no Wi-Fi, and they still have ashtrays in the seats.
That
it's like
can't be real.
Steve Grogan's flying on a Pan Am from the 1970s.
Amazing. How about the Falcons? Okay, they made a huge jump, the biggest jump in the poll, from 25th last year to 3rd this year, but one area still stinks. Literally, players say that the bathrooms need better ventilation to get rid of a persistent bad odor. And that certainly is going to leave you down in the dumps when you're trying to get ready for a game. And also, they are called the Dirty Birds for a reason.
Too many protein shakes.
What? Lemon pepper wings. It's Atlanta. Get real.
One other notable, how about the Commanders, ranked 32nd last year, jumping up to number 11 in the second year under new ownership, and Dan Snyder somewhere on one of those yachts is like, son of a gun.
Eating at Johnny Rockets and being ticked off. SportsCenter, the NFL will use an electronic system to measure first down this season. Josh Allen being ruled short against the Chiefs in the AFC title game revived some public debate surrounding this, but the Hawkeye system, which uses multiple cameras to track the ball, has been in testing for years. The NFL's chain gang will remain as a backup.
Finally!
We love it. It's the tennis approach.
Yes!
In or out?
Meanwhile, let's talk about the Combine. Mel Kiper Jr. releasing his latest mock draft, and there was a new player going number 1 overall to the Titans. That would be